Hey guys, this is Sports with Dylan. I've got 4 videos to make and edit in the next hour or 2. Which means that I'm going to get these down as quickly as possible. This one you will see today. The next one you will get to see tomorrow. And the ones after that you should see in the next couple of weeks. But starting with Sports with Dylan. In the sports news today, 2 major running back names were signed, with Dalvin Cook going to the Jets and Ezekiel Elliott going to the Patriots. It might just be pure coincidence that these 2 players were signed on the exact same day, because Ezekiel Elliott was actually signed by the Patriots a couple hours before Dalvin Cook was signed. This is unusual, given that Dalvin Cook was the top-end running back. He was the one that everyone wanted. So it would make sense that if a team saw that they didn't get Dalvin Cook, then they might go for Ezekiel Elliott. And it would not shock me if in the next day, then we get like a Kareem Hunt or a Leonard Fournette signing for that very reason. Teams that wanted Dalvin Cook, but now have clearly missed out on him. But the Patriots actually signed Zeke first, which means that maybe it was just pure coincidence that these 2 running backs happened to be signed on the same day. Maybe the Patriots knew that Dalvin Cook wasn't going to pick them, so they went out and signed Zeke. Or maybe Dalvin Cook signed with Jets because he wanted to go to New England, but when he saw they signed Zeke, because apparently they didn't want him that much for that price, then he decided to settle on the New York Jets. Either way, we had 2 major running back signings today, so I'm going to break them down. Starting with the Patriots signing Zeke, because it came first. The Patriots signed Zeke to a 1-year, $6 million deal. Honestly, it's pretty much what's expected. He's a good running back, maybe a bit on the high side, honestly. But, on the other hand, he is a good running back, and it's only 1 year. So if he plays terribly, that's it. You pay him for 1 year, then you're done. So, it's a pretty low-risk, high-reward kind of deal. And this makes sense for the Patriots, because despite having Ramondre Stevenson, who is quite a good starting running back, then they lost Damian Harris this past offseason, and they don't have any proven options behind Stevenson. And it doesn't sound like Pierre Strong, who was their 2022 4th-round pick, and Kevin Harris, their 2022 6th-round pick, as running backs. It does not sound like they are performing very well in training camp right now. So it does make sense to bring in another veteran option so that you can have 2 good running backs, or if worse comes to worst, and Ramondre Stevenson does get injured, then you'll have Ezekiel Elliott there who can take over seamlessly. So all in all, I think this is a great signing for both sides. Zeke got a good deal and is on a potentially competitive team. And the Patriots got a good backup, or even if Stevenson falters a bit, they've got a starting running back here in Ezekiel Elliott for a pretty reasonable price. That is not what I will say about the next deal. Dalvin Cook signed with the Jets on a 1-year, $8 million deal. Once again, low risk, high reward, and the fact that it's only a year. If he plays terribly, it's 1 year. But on the other hand, I don't think Dalvin Cook is that much of a risk compared to Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott was clearly past his peak as a running back, and it's possible he turns full-on into Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell and drops off a cliff this year. But Dalvin Cook still looked pretty good last year. In fact, really good, in my opinion. I would still say he's easily a top 10 running back in the NFL. So, I think they probably could have gotten him on a cheaper deal, but for more years. Maybe a 2-year deal with $6 or $7 million a year instead of $8 million, which is quite a bit for Dalvin Cook. I don't think he is worth that much. I don't think most running backs, especially in his position, are worth that much nowadays. The other thing, and this is what I talked about with the James Robinson trade to the Jets last year, which I'll leave a link to in the description. The Jets don't need Dalvin Cook. They have Breece Hall, who is a superstar, a 2022 second-round pick who did get injured and is coming off a torn ACL. And we don't know if he'll start the season, but when he comes back, he is likely to be the lead back. You've also got Michael Carter, a 2021 fourth-round pick, who played quite well as a starter in his rookie season. And last year, he didn't play quite as well, but he still played like a good backup and potentially starting running back if necessary. Then you've got Zonovan Knight, who was an undrafted free agent last year. He also performed pretty well in Breece Hall's absence. He almost took over for him. Michael Carter and Zonovan Knight completely made up for it. Meanwhile, James Robinson, who they traded for, did absolutely nothing. Lastly, you've also got rookie Israel Abinekanaba. I do not know if I pronounced that right. I apologize because I probably did not. But he was a fifth-round draft pick this year. I think he fell a bit. I love this guy in college at Pittsburgh, and he has looked amazing in preseason so far. So I don't get why the Jets felt the need to sign Dalvin Cook. Maybe Aaron Rodgers asked them to. That is entirely possible. Something like what the Bucs did with Tom Brady, where Tom Brady pretty much asked for Leonard Fournette. Tom Brady asked for Antonio Brown, which didn't quite turn out. But Tom Brady was sitting here asking for certain players, especially when they're free agents for a while. So maybe Aaron Rodgers did that. He wanted to play with Dalvin Cook, who was his divisional rival for many years. But I don't see the need. Again, I think the Jets have plenty of good running backs. Meanwhile, these are not the two AFC East teams I expected to sign these two backs. I had it predicted that Cook was going to the Bills to play with his younger brother, James, because the Bills do have recently signed Damien Harris, and they have 2022 second-round pick James Cook. But James Cook did not impress in his rookie season, and Damien Harris is fine. But is he really a Super Bowl contending starting running back? I'm not sure. But I think Dalvin Cook would have been a great fit there. Meanwhile, I thought Ezekiel Elliott would be a good fit for Miami, given that if they missed out on Cook, who they reportedly also wanted quite a bit, then they could still get another running back. Because right now, their running game is iffy. They've got Devin Akane, who was a third-round pick this past year, and he could turn into quite something. But you've also got Raheem Mostert, who's fast, but he's not that great of a runner, and he's injury-prone. And Jeff Wilson, who's fine. So the Miami's backfield isn't awful. But if they wanted to contend like a superstar, then they could have gone out and gotten someone like Dalvin Cook or Zeke. But someone like Kareem Hunt, who's still a solid running back, is still on the market. Same thing for Leonard Fournette. Although I'm not sure those guys would make much of an impact in somewhere like Miami, because honestly, I don't think either of those guys would be that much better than what they have right now. But Buffalo, for sure, would be a good destination for either of those guys, just to add a bit more backfield depth, especially in case James Cook does not play well once again in his sophomore season, and if Damien Harris doesn't have it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys again soon.